From Wits and Weights, I'm Philip Pape, and this is Nutrition Science Daily, bringing you the latest in nutrition, fat loss, and health science all in under 5 minutes. Now, you've seen these everywhere, lists of good foods to eat and bad foods to avoid. But what if those lists aren't as reliable as they seem? A recent article in Barron's highlights the complexities of nutrition research, urging caution when interpreting studies that label foods as unequivocally healthy or unhealthy. So why is this so hard to nail down? Besides the fact that perhaps we shouldn't be labeling foods at all, the first issue is context. A food's health impact usually depends on how it fits into your overall diet. For example, red meat might contribute to heart disease in a diet high in processed foods and processed red meats, but could be far less problematic in a balanced diet with plenty of vegetables and whole grains, for example. The second challenge lies in the design of these studies. Many of them rely on observational data, which cannot establish cause and effect. Just because people who eat more leafy greens tend to live longer doesn't mean the greens alone are responsible. There are a variety of other factors, exercise, sleep, socioeconomic status, and on that could play a role. And then there is the issue of generalization. Nutrition is highly individual. It's influenced by genetics, your gut microbiome, your training, your activity. What works for one person might not work for another. For instance, some people thrive on high-carb diets. Others might thrive on low-carb. So should you ignore these lists altogether? Well, not necessarily. Instead, I think there's a way to interpret them critically. First, always consider the source. Is it based on some true peer-reviewed research, or is it someone's opinion? But chances are it's someone's opinion. But look for transparency in how the recommendations were developed. Second, instead of focusing on individual foods, which I don't think is ultimately that helpful, I want you to consider your whole food matrix, your diet as a whole. Balance, variety, nutrient density, protein, the macro balance, the nutrients, etc., are far more important than a single item, as well as how it contributes to your goals. And then number three, stay flexible. I think these lists create the restrictive mindset that I'm encouraging people to get away from. It's okay to enjoy quote-unquote unhealthy foods occasionally if your overall diet is supporting your health goals. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy and you're going to binge on those foods. So a simple example is like kale. Kale is often touted as this superfood, and yeah, it's rich in nutrients, but eating kale alone is not going to make or break your health. It would probably not be such a great diet if you only ate kale, right? Sugar is labeled as harmful all the time, but occasional treats within a balanced diet are unlikely to cause any issues for people who are training, lifting weights, who are active. And sometimes I like something with a little bit of sugar as a pre-workout or to get some extra carbs when I'm training really hard. The takeaway here isn't to disregard nutrition advice wholesale. It's approach it with a healthy dose of skepticism. Nutrition science is always evolving. What we know today might shift as new research emerges. And so don't just, chase the latest trend or list of foods. Instead, focus on building sustainable habits that align with your goals and lifestyle. Food is not, I repeat, not inherently good or bad. It's about context, balance, and what works for you. And that is the essence of flexibility and sustainability. If you found this helpful, follow Wits and Weights for more practical strategies and deep explorations of these topics. And then share this episode with someone who's tired of conflicting advice and wants a more balanced perspective. Tomorrow, we are going to look at the link between high protein diets and muscle mass. See you then.